Welcome to another Rolled in Reacts episode. The owner of this Nissan was on his way to work when his tire blew up and he had to drive 100 miles just to get to the closest shop. The owner of this car had their cousin, who's a hobby electrician, help them install a light bar on their truck, but now needs a new battery. This 2011 Jeep Compass had been sitting on the owner's lawn for a few years and came in because the owner wanted to see how it actually looked underneath. Customer states, car has started to run real bad and accelerates like a sea turtle. Please advise. This Honda CR-V came in on a tow truck after the owner had hit a bowling ball that had fallen out of a truck in front of them on the highway. This customer came in saying that their car feels bumpier than usual. Customer states, I hit a sparrow on my way to work, and ever since, the car has been starting to overheat on me. Customer states, I thought I put diesel in it but must have been rocket fuel or something, because truck just kept going faster and faster until I heard this loud pop. Customer states, steering wheel feels kinda heavy. This Chevy Silverado came in for a pre-purchase inspection after the current owner had said, "Trust me, I've put some of the best undercoating there is on this puppy." This customer was driving their Kia Sorento to work when they suddenly heard a loud bang and lost all power. The owner of this car apparently thinks oil changes are a scam and hadn't had one since he bought the car new, which was 8 years ago. Customer states, yeah, I had a noise from the differential for a while, but I fixed it myself. This 2022 Honda CR-V had just been in for some repairs, but accidentally caught on fire a few hours later due to a bad wire in the heated seat. And this customer had just purchased this car from an auction, thinking it was a bargain. But after a few weeks, the paint started to chip, and this is what the mechanics found once they had it in the shop. And this guy had borrowed his mechanic friend's garage to do some work on his custom Jeep, but apparently forgot to mention that he's never heard of a thing called gravity before. And this customer came in with an exhaust leak after the owner had built and installed their very own exhaust system. This Peugeot expert came in for its first oil change since 2011 after the customer said it had started to run poorly the past few days. And this customer had done some brake work on his car and came in to make sure everything looked alright. Okay. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And this customer had fixed a leaking tire all by himself using some good old duct tape. What's a Toyota Tundra's favorite meal? Fried rice, because it's always revving to work. And this customer had installed a lift kit at a different shop, but had to come in because of a clunking noise. And this truck last had an oil change 42,000 miles ago. This truck came in with a few leaking tires after driving past a construction site on their way to work. The owner of this car had tried lowering it by themselves, but had to come in because one of the springs had failed pretty badly after they hit a minor pothole. This customer had let their grandson borrow their car for the weekend, but had to come in because now they have a rattling sound. Customer states, was stuck in snow, floored it until I felt the wheels gripping, but then I heard a loud pop. And this customer came in saying that he just wants a tire swap. Customer states, was pocket parking and brushed against the curbside. Can you fix it? Brakes. Who needs them anyway? This customer had recently replaced his rear brakes by himself, but didn't notice anything wrong with the suspension. And the owner of this car came in saying that they hear a constant clunking and rattling noise when driving on the highway. The owner of this car came in complaining about their car vibrating too much when driving on the freeway. And this car came in because the engine ran rough and sometimes wouldn't want to start. And the owner of this car had went away on vacation and parked their car in a garage, but once they came back they said that it now sounds like a rally car. And this car has more than just one expensive problem. This Porsche had to come in after the owner's wife had hit a curb going pretty fast. This customer came in asking, is it supposed to smoke this much during cold starts? And this customer had hit a pretty high curb pretty fast. The owner of this car complained about a whining noise during idle after having replaced some belts by himself. And this customer came in because they had some tire leaks and lots of vibration when driving. The owner of this truck came in for a state safety inspection saying, "Listen, me and my brother are both mechanics and do all our own work, so just tell us what's wrong with it and we'll fix it ourselves like we've done before." And this customer had to come back to the shop after having said, "I know someone who can do it for less, thanks." This vehicle came in after the owner had fixed a coolant leak at another shop the week before, but looks like their mechanics couldn't even fix a sandwich. This Chevy Tahoe came in because the four-wheel drive had stopped working. The owner of this Mercedes C-Class came in saying, "I don't know what it is, but anytime I go on the highway it smells like a barbecued skunk. And you can never have too many secret cookie stashes in your truck." It's that Flintstone guy again. This customer had installed a lowering kit, all by themselves. This customer came in saying that they've been getting a loud noise when braking and occasionally some clunking sounds, but didn't mention anything about this. Sparky Sparky. This almost brand new Toyota Prius had to come in because the owner heard a clunking sound when driving. The owner of this Peugeot SUV had tried topping off her washer fluid by herself, but had accidentally filled it up in the wrong place not once, but twice. This truck came in because the owner requested an oil change in their differential. Seems like they need a bit more work than just that. This customer had installed a new sound system and soundproofing kit they'd gotten at a bargain price off Temu, but had to come in because now their windows won't roll down anymore. And this Chevy Trailblazer was in for an oil change when the mechanic saw that the owner had DIY'd their own exhaust. This is how the 3-cylinder, 1-liter Ford EcoBoost engine looks after a bit of wear and tear. Customer states, "Someone chewed on my tire." And the owner of this car came in saying that something feels a bit different about their clutch and that he wants it checked out. Customer states, "I hear a strange noise every time I turn on the 4-wheel drive." And this car came in with a little crankcase pressure. And thankfully this customer came in to get this fixed ASAP. This customer came in complaining about lots of vibration in their steering wheel. Sounds great! This vehicle came in to get an oil change, but the owner forgot to mention that he had just applied a fresh layer of undercoating spray. And this customer came in saying that every time he wants to wash the windshield, it washes the engine instead. This Jeep Patriot came in for an oil change, but while on the lift, the mechanic saw this. This customer came in with starting issues after having installed some extra lights in their car together with their friend. Beautiful. Just imagine going over speed bumps in this one. And this customer came in saying that they don't need new rear struts, they're still okay. Must be some kind of new adjustable strut model, right? This customer came in saying, "Washer fluid goes anywhere but on the window, please advise." Customer states, "Heard a loud bang after I hit something on the road." The owner of this car said they heard a loud bang and then lost all power. The owner of this car came in complaining about a really wobbly steering wheel. This car came in with some starting issues and some burnt cables after the owner had done some electrical work on it all by himself. This Nissan Rogue came in because of a rattling noise. This mechanic had this car in for an inspection after the owner had done some work on it. While having the car on the lift, he noticed that the ball joints were holding on for dear life. The owner of this car said that they haven't done an oil change in a while and thinks it might be time. I'd have to agree on that one. And this customer complained about steering wheel vibration. Customer states, "Hit a hole in the road doing 50 miles an hour." And this truck came in because of starting issues and a misfire. Turns out that the spark plugs hadn't been changed in over 240,000 miles. The owner of this car said he thinks something might be wrong with the engine. And you know, as a mechanic, sometimes it's actually better to wear gloves. Customer states, "Car feels like it's very wobbly." Customer states, "Was on the highway, floored it, but then I heard a loud bang and the engine shut off." Customer states, I only want a tire repair, don't try and screw me over. Customer states, car came to a sudden stop after hearing a loud squeaky sound. Turned out that the transmission had turned itself into a mechanical Caesar salad because it had been running with pretty much no oil in it after the customer had hit something on the road. This car came in with almost no brakes after the owner had done some brake work on it all by himself. This customer rolled in because of an oil leak after having been at a quick lube shop. Customer states, I heard you need to change spark plug fluid every once in a while, so that's why I'm here. Please advise. This customer had to urgently come in with their Mini Cooper after a radiator hose had burst and caused the engine to overheat. Looks like it's gonna cost them a bit more to fix this one. And this customer had done some suspension work on his car, all by himself, but had to come in because of a clunking noise. This Dodge Stealth came in because the engine light was on and it didn't want to run at idle after the owner had done some work on it by himself. The mechanic discovered that the issue was caused by a little clamp stuck inside the mass airflow sensor. This customer came in because they had starting issues and issues with their power steering. Customer states, car starts smelling like a sweaty locker room every time I turn on the AC. And the owner of this car kept hearing water sounds when driving. This customer came in saying that their car feels slower than normal. And this customer came in and complained about a squeaky sound when braking. Customer states, my friend recently helped me replace the water pump. Apparently, the gear had just fallen out on its own, said the mechanic. This customer had fixed a fuel leak by himself, but had to come in because his car was now leaking even more than before. And this customer came in saying that they had let their son borrow their truck for the weekend to go fishing with his friends, but they had apparently hit a large pothole on their way back. That's probably okay, right? This Chevy Express van rolled in after the engine had blown up. Apparently, the owner had ran the engine almost completely without oil, which caused the crankshaft to break in 4 pieces. And this Citroen Xara rolled in because of poor braking power after the customer's friend had helped them install new calipers and topped off the brake reservoir with transmission fluid. And this Saturn SL1 came in because it had some issues with its transmission. And this car had to come in after just having gotten a new windshield installed at another shop. This car came in because of a vacuum leak after the owner's friend had done some work on it. This customer came in with their car complaining about a clunking sound after their friend had done some questionable quick fixes for them. And this Mercedes CLA 250 came in with a rim that had cracked in 6 places after the owner had hit a curb. This customer came in complaining about a ticking sound. Nice. And when your engine mount starts looking like this, it's probably time for new ones. Looks good. This car came in because the owner had quite the clunking noise. This customer had done some suspension work at another shop, but had to come in because now they have a pretty loud rattling sound. And this vehicle had a bit of a leak. When you're actually right on time for your service appointment. And this truck rolled in for an inspection when the technician noticed that someone had been somewhat creative with the drive shaft. The owner of this Jeep Grand Cherokee came in because he couldn't get the oil level up no matter how much oil he filled it with. Turns out that the customer had mixed up the oil and cooling caps all along. This car came in after the owner complained about the car feeling jerky and that they keep hearing a clunking sound when driving. The customer ended up declining all repairs. Yep, looks perfect. This car came in for some tire repair and bodywork after having brushed against another car on the highway. And this customer came in with a leaking tire after having hit a pothole doing 40 miles an hour. And this customer had tried doing some electrical work on his car after having watched a couple of DIY tutorials on YouTube. Customer states, car makes a weird sound every time I put it in gear. This car came in for a post-purchase inspection and this is what the technician found. This livestock trailer came in after the owner said that they recently towed some cows for about 400 miles, but that the trailer had started making a weird sound the last couple miles. And this mechanic found the socket of sockets while doing an oil change. Customer states, was driving behind a logging truck. The owner of this car came in saying that lately their brakes have been feeling different, and this is what the mechanic found. And this car apparently came with its own portable swimming pool. This Toyota Land Cruiser came in because the four-wheel drive didn't work and it simply wouldn't move forward or backwards. The owner of this Mondeo came in because it bumps more than normal after the customer's son had borrowed it for a weekend to go see his friends. The owner of this cat dozer had some leaking parts fixed and oil topped up at another shop, but a few hours later the engine blew up. This 2007 Audi A4 came in with some starting issues after the owner had switched the spark plugs by himself. Apparently he had used some gasket maker to try and fix a leaking valve cover. And this car came in because the owner said it had a strange ticking sound but only right before starting the engine. This customer hit a speed bump, then heard a loud clunk, then the car started sounding like a tractor. And this engine came in with its very own well of fresh spring water. And this customer came in saying that they have a rattling sound when driving after they had some work done at a different shop. This Jeep Gladiator Rubicon rolled in after the owner had gone on a little off-road trip for the first time. Customer states, hit a hole in the road. Oh, it's just your friendly neighborhood spot. Ah! And this vehicle came in with new tires installed, but just on one side. The owner of this car came in complaining about squeaky brakes. And these well-used brake pads came off of a 2016 Kia Soul. And this customer said, every time I roll up my window, it sounds like a machine gun.
Get to the chopper.
The owner of this car had it in for an inspection when the mechanic discovered they had fixed their bushings in a very economical and creative way. This Toyota Prius came in after the owner had hit something on the road. The owner of this truck had gone off-roading, but done it without diff breathers, and had to come in because their diff had started to make a grinding sound. This is what the mechanic found once he had the truck in the shop. This field mechanic was doing some work on a boat diesel engine after it had overheated and cracked in quite a few places. This car drove in like this, and it looks like it needs quite a lot of brake work. This car came in because the customer complained about the transmission feeling a bit weird. And this vehicle was definitely engineered by someone who either is a mechanic themselves or is a good friend of one. This Ford F-150 came in because the owner said it had an intermittent ticking sound, but didn't know what could be causing it. Let us know in the comments what you think it might be. Customer states, "My brakes are squeaking hella bad, please advise." This customer came in with their truck complaining about a loud squealing noise when braking. This Ford F-350 had some ABS problems, and the customer had tried switching the entire ABS module for a used one together with a friend, but that unfortunately didn't fix the problem, so they had to come in to get it looked at. And these new cat protectors look nice and all, but they are pretty pricey and don't seem to be working that great. Customer states, "I keep hearing a clunking sound." This Pontiac Sunfire had to come in because the owner said that the whole car feels loose whenever they let go of the gas after accelerating. And this customer complained about a clunking sound coming from their wheels. This 2004 GMC Sierra rolled in because the owner said it had started to run rough and wanted it looked at. The mechanic found that the customer hadn't changed the oil in quite some time, but after an engine flush and some new oil, the car ran much better. This car drove in for an oil change, and the mechanic didn't notice this until it was on the lift. The mechanic said that it's probably part of the insulation of the resonator. This customer came in saying that their car sounds like a Terminator robot trying to walk. Turned out to be a failing AC compressor clutch. That doesn't seem right. Customer states, "Installed some new rims, but I think I must have gotten the wrong size." This truck came in because it needed some new tires. And this car came in with quite the list of brake issues. And this customer had their friend, who owns a small private garage, balance their wheels for them, but now has a pretty bad steering wheel vibration. And this truck came in with some starting issues. This side-by-side came in because the owner had gone off-roading in the middle of the night, but didn't see exactly where it was going and had ended up in a swamp. You probably think this is some fancy sport car, right? Well, actually, I mean, as long as it stops, you're fine. Customer states, "Wipers sound like an old VHS player." And when you don't winterize your boat and boat engine properly, it can turn into a pretty expensive situation. And this customer apparently likes to know exactly where they're going. This customer came in saying that he has a leak in his back seat, and this is what the mechanic found. Customer states, "My car sounds like a truck, please advise." And this customer had done some brake work at another shop, but they had missed to tighten the lug nuts properly, so the wheel was this close to falling off. And this is what happens when you let your wet floor mats bake in your car for too long. You get a little forest. Customer states, my son borrowed my truck for the weekend and now I have a weird wheel noise. And this car came in after the owner complained about a scratching sound right after startup. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe for more. Thank you for watching, and until next time.